Hey everyone, this podcast is coming to you from the Psychic Dolphin Garage. You can support this show and our larger efforts to build a leftist community through podcasting and other projects over at patreon.com/Psychic Dolphin Garage. That's patreon.com/PSYCHICDOLPHIN Garage, which is spelled how it sounds. There are many things true in this world, but something that is, I guess, more true than anything else is the fact that HQ Trivia is no longer with us.
Oh, is that over?
Yep.
Yes. To the surprise of, I think, literally everyone, because no one actually played that fucking game anymore.
Well, at the beginning, it was huge. Like, people were playing.
Yeah, but then, like, the owners, like, OD'd on cocaine, and so then people were like, I'm not as into it as I used to be, I guess.
Well, how did they make money? I guess advertising.
Investor capital.
Yeah, they didn't, and that's part of the problem.
Right, yeah.
I think it's really funny that something that does seem like such a, hackneyed episode of Black Mirror, but just enough to work in the real world, actually tanked. That's really entertaining to me.
Also, how the fuck can you fail at this thing? It's the idea of giving out trivia money and reward money, but that's your only cost. You're taking someone who's vaguely charismatic, putting them in front of a green screen, and having them introduce questions that then people log in and answer to. Like, the only actual cost of your production is then doing rewarded payouts.
The rewards. And weren't the rewards like 25 cents and like...
Well, so that's the thing. Yeah, the way it was structured would be that you would be playing with multiple people, all watching the same thing in the same night. But, of course, when you split up a $500 reward between however many, hundreds and thousands of people, you end up with jack shit. So,
people...
because it used to be massive payouts. I mean, like $200,000
at the beginning. I remember that.
Yeah, and then people were like, more and more people are getting it right, so we'll just split it up amongst the winners. And then, that's the first sign of failure. Like, this thing that made us get so successful, let's change up the formula right now at the peak of our powers. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Yeah, that'll work out great.
I think one of the big issues, at least when I remember that I played a couple years ago, was that it would always crash, and you would get bumped from the game because your connection was, you'd still have a good internet connection, but it would somehow glitch. And
actual app's netcode fucking sucked.
Yeah, it was not well coded. Apparently,
that seems like that's like operations number 1 and number 2. Be like, okay, cool. So do we have like a strong enough Wi-Fi connection? Yes. Step number 2, is our app programmed to handle this much traffic? Yes. Okay, great. Now let's go make money based on the amount that we have been able to raise from advertisers. And then once we cut out our operating costs and slim profit margin, then that is the total prize pool reward.
Man, what is this? The Iowa caucuses? That's a funny joke 2 weeks ago.
Well, we can say Nevada caucuses. We'll be early on that.
Oh, yeah. This episode actually drops the day of, so can't wait for, I don't know, like Joe Biden to be found fucking a voting machine or something.
Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Hey everyone, I'm Kelton.
And I'm Bo.
And joining us in the garage today, good job, Bo. I need you to throw it to the guest here, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, joining us in the fucking garage today is GRIFTSH0P of the titular GRIFTSH0P.
Hey, what's going on?
And Phil from Drum Circle Jerk.
Hello, glad to be in the fucking garage.
Not sure what happened with my voice there for a second.
Yeah, the intoxication and puberty all of a sudden hit at once. Like, Drum Circle Jerk.
Maybe I should stop posting those hashtag Hot Boys for Bernie posts.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's overpowering, really.
God. Yeah, thank you all so much for joining us today. Zach is on a secret mission overseas to try and, reunite Ireland at this point in time.
Going swimmingly. Yeah, by the time this episode comes out Tuesday, they'll all be speaking the same language.
It's German for some reason, but, they're together in this experience. So we got to take a win however we can get it.
A W's a W.
Amazing.
So before we dive in too much into things, just want to give a shout out and a thank you to everyone who's subbed to our YouTube channel and help us cross 100 subs, and then we're almost now all the way to 200. So yay for that. We're actually going to then be doing a Super Tuesday live stream, so be sure and check that out on YouTube. It's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll be celebrating as opposed to just outright crying all the time.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
On Super Tuesday, you're live streaming?
Yes. We're going to be jumping on to YouTube and then having the Discord open to everyone in the community. Let people kind of pop in, say hi, give their thoughts.
Are you live streaming audio or video?
We'll be having our audio taking place with the webcams on us, but then anyone who jumps into the Discord, that's just going to be primarily through just the audio.
You guys will be on video. Oh, cool. Taking it to the next level. Wow, multimedia.
Yeah, it's a sign of growth that we are now being like, all right, so Google, let's try and figure out how YouTube works. Let's fail at this. We can't make it work anywhere else. So
we thought about like doing video and live streams, but there's too many illegal things going at any given point to have a camera pointed at us.
As they should be, really. I mean,
just
run it through like NordVPN. Just be like, well, I mean, in Bulgaria, everything is completely legal over here. So.
Yeah, exactly. We're streaming from fucking Swaziland or some shit.
Streaming from whatever CIA safe house Pete Buttigieg went there.
Yeah, that's right.
Whichever vat they grew him in said safe house. Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be perfect. Election day results live from John McAfee's boat.
Oh, that'd be sweet. Did you see that call? He said, "I'll go on anyone's podcast if they have like a couple hundred subscribers."
I mean, he did say that. Whether or not he will actually follow through on that, well, be tuned into our Twitter just to see.
Yeah, let's shoot him an email. I mean, he's a fucking wacko, but like that'd be perfect.
Yeah, your guys' Twitter definitely has enough clout.
Be like, hey, so John McAfee, but listen, big fans. We also believe in hunting people for sport. That's why we're voting Bloomberg 2020. I mean, we might as well actually push for that. It seems like
not.
Yeah, a good goal for 2020. Let's all collectively pool our resources together.
Send your most powerful orb energies to. Actually, let's get Mama Marianne on the fucking show. That's what we'll do.
That we'll see. We have to get John McAfee first, and then we can add her to the vaunted list of guests.
You got to build the clout, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because I mean, while Zach is working on serious projects, like Rose Caucus, discussing what the People's Platform is for that particular group of amazing progressive candidates, Bo and we are working on getting Marianne Williamson and John McAfee on the show.
Yep.
And I think we all know which way the fans want.
McAfee.
Absolutely, yes.
Didn't he have this bit too where he was trying to convince libs that he has sex with whales? So, very, very close relative, in evolutionary context to the dolphins.
Absolutely.
So, he is a lover of the same animals that you guys are.
Oh, he loves them, I think, in ways we could not even begin to imagine.
In ways that only the finest research chemicals can let us begin to fathom exactly what happened here. But speaking of chemicals, I guess, affecting your brain, how was everyone's Valentine's Day?
I don't know about y'all, but I went out to a ranch with a bunch of my boys to play D&D with, and it was fucking spectacular.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm engaged, so I just spent time with her. So.
Wow.
See
well,
that? No, that's the real fucking secret to of long-term commitments is you don't even have to fucking worry about shit anymore. It's like, boom, there you go.
Literally did nothing. I said Happy Valentine's Day, and that was it.
Boom. Dudes rock.
Via text today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not going to be home today, but Happy Valentine's Day.
I think there are leftovers in the fridge. Love you. Sin.
Yeah, no, it's great. That is the benefit of being in a long-term relationship.
I mean, but that's actual love, though, because I didn't know if y'all saw the story or not about that Texas teenager, how he bought flowers for literally every girl that went to his school.
The women respecter has logged on.
Yes, exactly. I've never wanted to tell a 13-year-old call him a fucking simp, but we all know the path that this is going to go down.
Absolutely,
that's a big simp move. That's a big simp move. I opened that. And I love at the end, it's despite what you may believe, he's actually still single.
Oh, despite.
Yeah. I'm real surprised.
Yeah, because he's so nice.
I can't wait for him to become a guest on some alt-right podcast.
Oh, yeah,
It'll be
I
him
mean,
and Gavin McGinnis
yeah.
just being like, listen, this is why you can't trust them. All of them.
In a
Listen,
year or two,
obviously you're the ultimate gentleman, but
He's going to be a mod on a MGTOW board within a year.
no, he's going to go postal. It's going to be 170 bullets in a year or two.
oh god, yeah.
Oh my God. Talking about bullet for my Valentine. Jesus Christ.
There you go.
Fuck.
That's
Oh my
great.
God, Phil.
Sorry.
I can see it happening because this is Texas. Like, we have guns available at fucking
he's gonna
Costco.
be
Walk down to
18.
7-Eleven, pick one up. Yeah. There you go.
Like, what kind of guns? In Costco? Like little fucking pellet guns or legit?
Oh, no. You can buy like fucking rifles here. It's, like
Texas,
for hunting
baby.
purposes only.
Even assault rifles?
I mean, like, define assault, I guess, is the legal clarification we need to
like
ask.
one of those.
The short answer is no, but actually, if you remove this weird, like, little cheap plastic pin, it then makes it go from a 3-round burst to a type
Oh, wow.
really
Like,
fast.
It's
Yeah.
like the thing in the showers that Trump is complaining about. He's gonna, we're gonna make the guns. They're not gonna go poo poo. They're gonna go. I love his fucking his water bits, his toilet and shower, his new fucking.
Yeah,
his
no,
new,
honestly, if instead of doing like anything he's ever done in his life, if he was just a weird boomer stand-up comedian that talked about shitting all the time, I would love the guy.
yeah, if he
politics
didn't have
aside.
political power, yeah, he'd be the. I mean, I could just enjoy his comedy.
Yeah, it's
I
like
mean, honestly, think about this like weird alt reality. Like, as all of this bullshit that is taking place, like with the Iowa caucus, and then I'm sure that's about to take place with the Nevada caucus, and how
Yeah.
he's just like roasting the Democratic Party for this. Like, if Hillary Clinton had actually won, he would be doing this 24/7. He would be like a god tier poster at this point.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
I
he'd
mean,
have a
he's-
podcast.
He would be the
probably.
anchor on,
Yeah.
on Trump TV.
100%. Yeah, there would be Trump TV. He would build a
Oh,
entire
please. He
network.
wouldn't actually be the anchor. He would be like the special guest. But every time.
episode,
that-
yeah.
So that way then he could get introduced over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. Then it's plausible deniability. It's like, oh, he's in a McDonald's coma. We can't wake him up. Just I mean, cut to like footage of like, I don't know, military service members or something.
Yeah, when you think about it, like he would start Trump TV not to be the guy on the air, but as the ideal channel for him to watch in bed, eating, a parade of McDoubles and McChickens.
I mean, he would basically be trying to be what like Mike Bloomberg actually is with Bloomberg News.
Yeah.
Like I just realized we're kind of just making like the Vice edgelord version of what Bloomberg TV is, which
Yeah, 100%. That's what it would be.
God, I'm so glad
It's-
I have not seen a single fucking Bloomberg ad. Thank you, AdBlock, for sponsoring my life.
Oh yeah, congratulations to you. I watch sports and it's miserable.
Yeah,
Like,
and you should be summarily punished for it. Yeah.
it's the fucking worst. I'm watching like an XFL game and it's like, well, let me tell you about one man who thinks that he can beat Donald Trump, Michael Bloomberg, over and over and over again. Like, he's worked with President Obama before. That makes him qualified. Michael
remember him?
Bloomberg.
Is that the gist of the ads? Because I haven't seen them either. They're basically,
That's
I can
literally
beat Trump
the gist
and,
of every ad. He's like, I can beat Trump. I have the resources to do it.
They're really boring.
Yeah, it really is. And it's bizarre to me with all the similarities that have come up about Bloomberg, because I'm not even sure that he's going to necessarily place in the top 5, maybe even top 6 in Nevada.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's not eat our fucking words. I see him in the top 3.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, watch me just eat shit as he sweeps Nevada and all of Super Tuesday then.
Super
Rat fucking
Tuesday, I
knows
think, is
many
going to be
forms,
crazy.
Skelton.
I mean, I just genuinely think that he's making a play for later on when, realizing that these states don't actually matter as much. I mean, it's very similar to 1992 with what happened with Bill Clinton, how he didn't actually do that well for like the first half of all of the primaries, but then he built momentum.
Yeah.
In his case, it was because of political connections. In Bloomberg's case, it's because he has, $20 billion he is willing to throw at this
Yeah,
thing.
he's not even
like-
really running in the first 4 states. Like, I don't even think he was on the ballot here in New Hampshire. Yeah, he's betting it all on Super Tuesday.
Well, to be fair though, he owned all of the ballot boxes and election machines, so you know, he'll find a way to win one way or another. I guess is my point.
He's at like 8.5% in Nevada, so right above Steyer there, right below Warren and Buttigieg. So, and
that is
Biden's polling second, and I see, you know, obviously Biden's going to crash and burn, so I could see him. I don't know. Fuck. I'm nervous for Bloomberg.
Yeah, that's right. We're all very nervous on behalf of Bloomberg. We just really want to support him so much. I assume that y'all have seen all over on social media how people are now ironically talking about how they're going to just like get employed and work for Michael Bloomberg since he's offering $6,000 a month, which isn't a bad deal pay rate wise.
That honestly pretty much slaps.
Respect the grift.
I mean, this is my problem though. Like, is it an actual grift if then all you're going to do is just get fired after like a week because you're not fulfilling your benchmarks? Or are you going to be like, all right, it's time for me to, you know, like go even deeper, try to actually, you know, start ironically passing out Michael Bloomberg literature, then, you know, ironically attending his events and doing a good job to get promoted, making $8,000.
Yeah.
Like, I think Bloomberg will take like people who are ironic posters, but actually get him and his word of mouth and his name recognition further out there.
I mean, that's really the thing with this whole dumb, like paid shit posting thing that's been happening. All these.
Oh yeah, how every Instagram.
Yeah, like these, especially like these big, very like, you know, basic normie, whatever you want to call them, Instagrams are now just doing like, hey, like look at this funny conversation we had with Bloomberg where he called us shithead Steve. Oh, it's like eat shit, you fucking creeps.
It was the same meme format too. I don't understand. Was he trying to make the conversation itself a meme that then people would do?
Yeah,
so that's kind of the thing.
Then he succeeded because we all made fun of it, and then that gave him recognition.
Yeah, it's the fucking Sonic movie effect.
It works because the meme is like him being a dumb old guy, and like the meme is how we would expect his interaction trying to get these meme accounts on his campaign to go.
Exactly.
So
it's coming around in front of the hello fellow kids thing. You know, rather than having somebody else say like, oh, you're a, you know, okay, boomer, shut the fuck up, boomer.
So
it's
people
like,
are sharing it being like, oh, like look at him, like he's
it's
dumb.
it's the preemptive yes Chad meme response to okay boomer. If that tracks to anybody who isn't totally internet poisoned.
It's not a Chad meme, it's a cash meme. All right.
I don't care how much Bloomberg offers me. I am not making a Chad Bloomberg meme. Do not respect the grift.
Okay, well, what if he was like this? All right, I need you to do a Chad Bernie meme, and then I want you to put just half of my head, the upper half of my head, right by Bernie, and just in the same format because I'm so short. Get it?
Yeah, put him like below. Like Bernie's towering over him.
That's right. See, he would take that even. He'd be like, that's right, it's little old me.
Mini Mike.
One of his best nicknames yet.
The one short king I do not respect. I have plenty of love for my short kings, don't get me wrong. This guy is not counted among them.
But it's just the fact that Bloomberg, he absolutely seems to be casting as wide a net as possible because he's hiring all of these meme Instagram accounts. He's hiring the Firefest fucking meme team that made that happen, which I mean, like, Firefest itself was a disaster. Okay, like
but the promotion of it was not.
Exactly. So when people are like, oh, can you believe why would anyone hire the Firefest people? Like, because they turned something that was objectively awful into something that you had literal millionaires endorsing and putting their name on.
There would have been no like Firefest fiasco if they hadn't done such a good job manufacturing this fake music festival from nowhere.
Absolutely, yeah.
In a way, Bloomberg's the Firefest of candidates.
That's right.
He 100% is,
the perfect promotion team to take him to the top.
God, that's perfect.
Oh no, I'm just picturing what's his name, Buddy McFarlane, someone
McFarlane. That
just
guy.
Have him
Buddy.
just be sitting there, being like, so I'm his new PR manager. I'm very surprised at this, but it's a work release program, and Mike is trying to help out people who are convicted felons.
Yes,
and get them back into the workforce.
Yeah, I heard he likes to do that quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, he'll have them working for him before they're out.
That was such a bullshit thing when it came up that how he's using literal prison labor to do cold calls.
Yeah,
like
probably some of the same people he threw in prison.
Yep.
As a result
that
of
would
his
be
policies.
so fucked.
Yeah.
That would be so fucked. It'd be like, well, listen, I know I incarcerated you for less than an eighth of a gram of a speck of weed.
Yeah,
but
of mids.
You're stuck in here for 2.5 years. But I will willingly give you a 5-for-1 deal if you decide to cold call for me, please.
Yeah, I'll pay you $2.50 per day to call people on my behalf.
And the only reason you were found with that like half gram of weed was because a police officer under his racist police state stopped and frisked you on the street for no reason and found it.
Fellas, we're all shitting on Bloomberg a lot here. Consider he got rid of the big cups. So, I mean, you really can't say whether he's good or bad or not.
Yeah, and
That's
now
right.
obesity is gone.
Yeah, he cured obesity by shooting every fat person he saw in the face. That's how it works.
King.
Mounting them on his wall. Just
God.
See, I can't even make a joke for him about being like, Big Gulp sponsored because he has more money than whatever fucking 7-Eleven corporation has.
Yeah.
Like, he has no need for any sponsored content. Yeah,
61 billion. And I was just calculating, so off that 60 billion, he just the interest alone would make him nearly 2.5 billion per year.
He's gained money.
God.
He's gained money since he started this campaign, even though he's poured like 400 million of his own money into it.
Because he
so fucking
hasn't
ridiculous.
touched the accumulated capital. He's just been scrimping off the interest. So he's like projected to spend about like 1.2 billion for the year at least. That's only half of what he makes in interest. That's
God
not
damn.
even the 60 million.
Okay, so listen, it looks real bad for us, okay?
It's not good.
He literally has unlimited money.
Okay, so listen, I'm starting to think that maybe we won't win on the donate $2.70 front.
No, we got
when
this.
it comes to matching, dollar for dollar with Bloomberg. So the most important thing to keep in mind with this would be that we need to try and make sure to encourage anyone we can to actually go out and vote, because the Bloomberg strategy of turning Republicans into Democrats to vote for him, or even then convincing people like in Harris County, asking people who are, middle of the road Republicans to then vote in the Democratic primary, but then make sure to vote for Bloomberg so he can win. We need to counter that by getting inactive or apathetic voters and helping, get them informed on the issues and awaken class consciousness in them. Because you can't outspend him. That's
Yeah, you can't beat him at his own
that's a
fucked
viable
up
option.
game. Yeah.
What you need to do is go into every house and break as many computers as you can find just to get these ads out of people's homes.
Or just teach people about installing ad block. Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, but how are you going to teach, people older
Boomers?
than us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can say it. This is a safe place.
I don't use slurs, all right?
Steal the AOL CD-ROM from the boomers computer.
Yeah, just
Checkmate.
pop that right out of there. Just put on like a hat and some cargos and pretend you're checking their computer. Like, I'm just here to check your
Geek
computer.
Squad.
Like, oh, come on in.
Yeah, hey, it's me,
Oh,
Chet from
shit.
Geek Squad. I just gotta just unplug their router, and that does it. I don't even have to fuck with anything.
that'll
Just
do it.
unplug the router.
That's how we win.
Well, see, I even wish I could say that would work, but then that doesn't take into effect all of the radio ads the boomers will hear or
Yeah.
the TV ads either. So, I
Wait,
mean, we
wait,
just
what
gotta
the fuck is
completely
radio?
cut their power.
You got to
Slow
take
down.
the TVs out, too.
I don't know what a goddamn radio is. Is that the thing I plug my aux cord into in my car? That's a millennial reference. For those of you who are also millennials.
I mean, it's
like
only a matter of time
podcasts, but-
before he does like all, YouTube ads and then all of the Spotify.
I
Yeah.
want to see Mike Bloomberg flossing with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, he's even getting to us guys who are fucking ad-free, quote-unquote ad-free, because he's doing it through the memes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
He's
it's interesting to compare him to Steyer, who's the other billionaire, trying to buy his way in, because Steyer went all in on the YouTube ads, and I have younger brothers who are in Gen Z, and literally it's a meme to them. All of the catchphrases that Steyer uses in his ads, like none of them, like either they can't vote, and obviously they're going to vote for Bernie if they can, if they're 18. But like Steyer poured so much money into YouTube, not realizing he's just like targeting, Gen Z people watching Fortnite streams.
That is so
Listen,
fucking whack.
2024 is going to be a good year for Tom Steyer. Somehow an early front runner. No one knows exactly why, but all of these fucking 14-year-olds that can now finally vote for the first time.
Yeah, a bunch of people showing up to the fucking Tom Steyer rallies in like Five Nights at Freddy's merch. Just really coming out for their guy.
Well, it's just ridiculous to me because, everyone was talking about how big this could be with like, oh man, this guy's net worth is like $4 billion or whatever it is. And then like to find out the Bloomberg basically makes that in just interest is fucking heartbreaking.
I mean, that's the thing with every one of these,
Yeah.
wealth hoarding dragon-esque motherfuckers. Like, that's how they make their money, not by like you using it to do anything useful, just by sitting on the fucking interest.
Oh
Letting somebody else
yeah.
manage it for them.
It's not the way the entrepreneurs love to fetishize. It's like, oh, he's working 80 hours a week. Like, no, you can't make that kind of salary no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Like-
it's a different monster we're playing
He
with here.
earned
And that's
all
not even
that
getting
money.
into.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
literally, he could lock himself in a room and jerk off all day, and he would make $2 billion for the year.
Yep.
Amazing.
God. It's a fantastic thing to be in, especially when we consider the fact that he's only been a Democrat for like 18 months. So
Jesus Christ.
yeah, I mean the Overton window has shifted so far to the right that now an actual possible candidate ticket would be Bloomberg Romney.
Jesus.
Amazing.
Don't speak that into existence.
It's already been spoken. I didn't even think of it. I've seen multiple people talking about how like this would be the real unity ticket. This could be something that could win everywhere.
Ugh.
And that's the fucking worst idea in my head.
It came out
Yeah,
on
that sucks ass.
It came out on Drudge, I think, yesterday that he was considering Hillary for his running
Yeah, I
mate.
saw that. I saw that.
Hell,
I don't
yes.
get the play there because she's wildly
He has a death wish?
unpopular. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think they realize that, though. Like, I feel in some of these people's minds, it's still that she was, like, totally robbed. And not,
Oh, yeah.
and I mean, don't get me wrong, the fucking popular, or the Electoral College sucks ass. But, like, the fact that she got that proportion of the popular vote in the first place is a fucking miracle. Like,
No,
and I
no,
think
it's-
it's mainly because she was up against Trump.
But since 2016, her reputation has fallen dramatically.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
She's only really still popular with the fucking absolute weirdos like
Her
the
niche
K-Hive
group,
people
yeah.
and like yeah.
He clearly feels the need to pick someone whose name is also in Epstein's little black book.
Absolutely.
Gotta keep it in the cabal.
Shit,
Yeah.
I mean, what the real fucking fourth dimensional chess move for Bloomberg at this point would just to be vice president of Trump. I mean, there you fucking go. Like, he'd fit right in, next to his golf buddy and do just fucking fine.
You might as well just shut down your voting in the States at that point and just,
Yeah, oh,
what's
absolutely.
the point anymore?
Yeah.
God, I can only imagine that. Be like, well, Bloomberg has secured the Democratic nomination, but then he has already forfeited to Trump on the concession point of being named his VP.
Wow, can you do that? I wonder if there's a rule against that.
There's no rule that says a dog can't be president.
Wow,
Yeah, I mean,
Airbud,
the main
Airbud
strategy,
5,
I
the
think-
presidency.
I'd watch
I
it.
think the main strategy that we all need
Positive.
to have is to try and make him unviable or not viable, whatever that fucking word is, and keep him below the 15% threshold, not only in caucus states, but just, across the board for as long as we can, because otherwise he's going to start scooping up a little bit of delegates here, a little bit of delegates there.
And before you know it, boom, rat fuck.
I mean, it seems like his whole strategy is to basically gather up enough support with enough momentum towards the end that then if there is a contested convention in Milwaukee, then he can just kind of ride those rails, white knuckle it all the way through and say, well, Bernie doesn't have a super majority of pledged delegates. So just vote for me. Yeah, why not?
His entire campaign hinges on Super Tuesday because you got Texas, you got California, you got a lot of other states going. I mean, Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, South Carolina is the number of delegates. Sure, it's important for momentum, but the number of delegates is piddly compared to what's up on Super Tuesday. So if I think by the time this will be out, it'll be about exactly
a week until Super Tuesday.
Two
Yep.
weeks, yeah, and because it's on March 3rd.
March
So
3rd,
we
yeah.
just have to the
I'm sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Uh,
I keep on forgetting about fucking South Carolina. Jesus Christ.
us as
We all do, don't worry.
We're as the posting arm of Bernie's internet army. We just have to spread as much information and disinformation about Bloomberg as possible.
It's time for some targeted harassment, boys. Just got the DM from the Burn Man himself.
That's right. You got.
Well, also simultaneously not making him seem so cartoonishly cool like we did with Trump.
Yeah.
We gotta learn some lessons here, people.
Yeah, he doesn't have the charisma and the sense of humor that Trump has.
No.
Thank God. Can
Yeah.
you imagine if he had just an ounce of charisma? He would be fucking unstoppable. Like, if he knew how to take a joke or how to even deliver a joke. Jesus Christ.
Man,
Why doesn't he hire some, like, bullshit solo comedian like Chris D'Elia? Just be like, write me some material. Give me a tight 5.
imagine Bloomberg doing Chris D'Elia material.
Oh, my God. He would hire Jeff Ross to deliver some fucking roast lines.
Did you guys see Mike Bloomberg bought his way on the newest season of Big Mouth? I thought that was a weird move, but it worked out really well for him. He's telling all those 12-year-olds how to jack off or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great. I can actually see that too. Is the really fucked up part of it? Like,
No, totally. For a
Man.
second, I was like, "Did that happen?" I'm not kidding. I was picturing his Big Mouth character in my head.
Oh,
it looked
yeah, I can
really
see it
funny.
in my
'Cause
mind's
he'd be
eye
as
right
tall as
now.
the kids. He'd be as tall as the kids.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to see Big Mouth Bloomberg.
and he shows them his
See,
penis. and that's the
See,
joke
this
somehow.
is what happened. We got high on our own supply. We were like, yeah, man, it'd be ridiculous if he did that. Now we've irony poisoned ourselves already to the
Speaking
point
it
where we're
into
like, yeah, I mean,
existence.
I would watch it. I mean, like, I wouldn't like it, but I mean, 6-8 episodes of that? Sure, why not? I've got nothing to do
A
this weekend.
spin-off? A little spin-off?
The Bloomberging is coming from inside the house, y'all. I think we're fucked.
My God, he's entered our brains.
There
somehow.
better not be
Yeah.
any of his consultants listening to this, because we're coming up with some pretty good ideas here.
I mean, technically, with all the grifters that are taking advantage of his campaign, I'm sure we actually do have some of his consultants listening.
Yeah,
That's the
somebody's
problem.
out there getting that fucking extra $150 to go to rent or whatever just by
And that's exactly what I'm worried about. Is that someone's going to pitch some wild ass idea like, oh yeah, get on Netflix's Big Mouth season 4. Just fuck it, do it. Why not? And then it'll actually work.
Yeah, Kelvin, I think you posted today, like, yeah, all these grifters, taking his money and then not working for his campaign are accidentally going to actually get him elected.
Yeah, no, that's a major fear
Yeah.
of mine. So, well,
Amen.
fingers crossed. No more ideas. Okay.
yeah,
We
nobody
can't give
think
him-
or do anything.
Bloomberg meme work is real work, guys. Yeah.
Y'all remember in like 2015, 2016, all the Trumpers talking about meme magic?
Do you remember how in like 2019, all the fucking Orb Gang people talking about meme magic?
True.
We were there, Bo.
Yeah, we were there. We were at ground zero for that. And you know what? I think it's time we bring Mama Marianne out of retirement to take down Bloomberg with, like, I don't know, a psychic blast or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a Rambo, basically. She's getting recruited. She's in the jungle. She's telling AIDS patients that they just need to believe in themselves some more. They're like, only
do it.
this woman.
My God, I never got her appeal. I fucking hated her from the beginning.
Oh,
I mean,
like, politically, she's, like, totally just fucking off the map. But her whole vibe of, okay, this looks like somebody who buys crystals from you for $400. Like, yeah,
I
I
hate
can
those
get it.
people.
Yeah, I totally get the like new age self-help guru appeal that she would have to a certain strata of wine mom. They're yeah.
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
on Drum Circle Jerk, y'all were talking about Goop and Gwyneth Paltrow. That's I mean the same exact type of energy.
Yeah. How many of them
that
are
they
there?
have. I mean,
yeah.
like weirdly enough, I don't think that us 4 guys talking about, well, what is the appeal of Marianne? we're quite going to get to the bottom of it.
I don't want to have sex
I
with
mean,
her,
I am-
so
I am certainly a wine mom at heart. Don't get me
I
wrong.
don't understand.
And Marianne Williamson, I would love to hang out with her. I would love to have a glass of Shard with her.
No, we get it. You want to fuck Marianne
Yeah.
Williams. I
Perhaps.
understand.
That's neither here nor there. My point is,
I think
I'm
it's
saying... Oh, it's here, all right. Anybody else recording this with any pants on? No, just me? Okay.
I'm scrolling through pictures of Marianne as we speak.
My root chakra is going fucking wild right now, y'all.
The worst part about it is that, like, if you search and you're like, yeah, Marianne Williamson. Oh, man, what a smoke show. Let me check out, see what she looked like when she was younger. Then you're like, actually, I kind of prefer the older Marianne Williamson. I don't
that
know. I'm
true?
discovering some things about myself right now.
Hell yeah. Go off, King.
Marianne Williamson Young. I've actually never...
We have lost Phil for the remainder of the episode. He will come back after a quick hydration break and 6 to 8 minutes. So
Wow. She looks like a 90s actress.
Yeah,
Okay,
but she
hell
talks
yeah.
like a 1940s actress, and that's
Yeah, she
part of
talks
the.
so
every
weird.
part of this is amazing. By the
What
way,
accent is that, by the way?
It's the transatlantic accent. It's the
Oh, she's like
stereotypical,
literally the
starlet.
fucking classic Hollywood accent.
Yeah, exactly. She grew up, I believe, in Texas, and then got raised on the East Coast before moving to California. And
Jesus.
so then it was just kind of like, oh well, I need to sound like I'm from somewhere. So
Wow.
gonna sound like this. Start talking all the time. Only gonna sound soft and sultry.
can we just redo this whole podcast in that voice, please? You sound like such a pedophile. This is amazing.
Does it circle around? Like if you want a fucking old person that hard, like do you then do the pedophile voice to then try and get them to?
It's a type of pedophilia.
Yeah, I mean it's closer to necrophilia if we're going in terms of age.
Pretty sure that's just the plot of Death Stranding somehow.
Well, I guess, if there is going to be one type of thing that people are going to be talking about, if we're going to be levying accusations of pedophilia, let's talk about how conservatives are obsessed with both
Sorry.
brainwashing the youth and building up some weird fascistic organizations of their own.
Oh?
Did y'all see that the Border Patrol is deploying essentially like military grade or SWAT level, at the very least, tactical units to various sanctuary cities?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Nice.
It's pretty heinous.
Or by the
Yeah.
acronym BORTAC, which doesn't sound ominous at all.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
totally
that-
doesn't sound
that
like
is-
the bad guys from like a fucking 90s video game.
Yeah.
Fucking mask off, absolutely. Like you can picture, like again, late '90s, or I mean, not even late '90s, early '90s, late '80s style video game or movie with Tim Curry as the evil leader of BORTAC. Just fucking. God, it's awful. I mean, like, there's CSI and Law and Order and NCIS and Criminal Minds. There's FBI and 911, the weird spun off 911 Lone Star. So, like, why not? Let's just put, BORTAC Thursdays on PBS. Let's make it happen. It's just insane to me that we actually seem to be going along with this, I guess, for lack of a better reason. But I mean, like, we're not talking about it. Like, we're talking about the election and how all of this is bad, but like we are not really, I think, giving true time of the microphone, so to speak, to talking about how the Border Patrol is becoming radicalized so much more than even like 2 years ago or 4 years ago. Like, it's always been bad, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But they are really amping it up right now. I mean, we're about to get some like fucking, thin green line type bullshit starting to pop up if it doesn't already exist.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking heinous. I mean, like, and that's their job to be too, of course, is to be as like, kind of under the radar, mask on very much in a way, like, well, yeah, because if they do get too much attention to them, people will realize, hey, like, the whole concept of a border kind of fucking sucks. But if they can continue to, just deal with the bad guys, TM, they'll totally get away with whatever. So.
Well, I mean, and it's not like they're already brainwashing the youth with their fucking like Border Patrol Boy Scouts or whatever it's called, the
Wow.
Jesus.
Border Patrol Explorers.
Yes. God, what a sick fucking name.
I had never
yeah.
heard of BORTAC before. I'm just looking them up now. Their logo is like a sheriff's badge with angel wings behind it.
Okay, that's fucked.
Yeah, the mission of
Jesus.
BORTAC is to respond to terrorist threats of all types anywhere in the world in order to protect our nation's homeland.
That's the thing I
Crazy.
really hate too about like just the just raw creepiness of our border patrol is that it frames itself very much as a reaction to 9/11 and like, oh yeah, we're stopping terrorism. Meanwhile, they're like working domestically, like throwing families in jail and shit like that. Like, it's real heinous.
ICE literally didn't exist until the Bush administration. And people act
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it's a hallowed institution of our security state, whereas it's not even 20 years old.
Monster Energy drink has been around longer than fucking Jesus.
They
it
don't
has
have
more
charge
right
of the
to
border.
exist.
Yeah, and like just going back to what you were saying about how the media is treating this, like I totally agree that the electoral cycle is sucking all of the air out of the room and leaving no space to this stuff, which has honestly like been normalized since like because remember in like summer of like 2018 when the camps when all that stuff was coming out and it was shocking and it was headline news and it seemed like there was an actual moment and then people just sort of got used to it and then that being like, oh, that's just how things are. now we got an election to worry about.
Well, that's kind of the
hunky-dory.
trap of electoral politics in general is that, I mean, what the fuck are we going to do about it other than vote? And, I mean, there are things you can do about it, like that one dude did, and, did it solo, unfortunately, and ended up just dying without really doing anything. But, I mean...
Yeah. I mean, it's not like that then those efforts get totally snuffed out. Like, can you remember his name as we all were, like, retweeting? They're like, I will never forget you. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I can barely remember my own name most days, so... I mean, I'm not the person to ask, but...
my name is Ba.
So what has this Vortac done to this point? They've been deployed there, or what's...
No, I mean, they are literally now going into sanctuary cities to just kind of start inflicting their own aspect of real-world law and order. Doing like raids of certain kinds, conducting their own independent investigations. But
Crazy.
I mean, these people are armed to the teeth. They're supposedly there to be in the same instance of like what SWAT has, to go into like stash houses or to try and break up smuggling operations. But in reality, they're just kind of like stun grenading families of undocumented immigrants. So it's good times.
Yeah. There you go, fucking
Like,
America. We have a similar thing that's also kind of it happens a lot in Canada, but we have a bunch of unceded Aboriginal territory here, and there's like a big thing going on right now where we're also sending like crazy masked up police to forcefully take that land to put the pipeline through there.
It's ridiculous to me that this becomes some sort of just moment. Because it's happening in America, it's happening in Canada, it's happening in South America, just in general as a whole. The coronavirus is inspiring people to really put a lockdown pretty much everywhere else, as it's being used as justification for xenophobia, and there doesn't seem to be any idea of what is being given up in this case. I mean, is being viewed as, it's going to help make these cities more secure. That seems to be the centrist argument for it, and not, oh my God, this is just, implementing military style tactics and putting in military forces essentially into domestic cities and locales to then try and keep people in line.
Which is just going to make things way worse.
And these are
because you keep ignoring the source. Sorry, man.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah. And like, these are cities, these are sanctuary cities where the local government is not cooperating with the Trump administration and is actually, trying to push back against the racist and, dangerous policies from the federal government. So they're literally sending these, highly armed units into places where they're going to have less support and feel more, likely to lash out at everyone on the ground.
Yeah. And they're answering to the federal government as opposed to the state government. That's something that then further needs to be implemented. So that way then, even though it's a sanctuary city, they don't go by local authority whatsoever. So they've effectively circumvented it all. There's a national police occupying cities, but I mean, this doesn't seem like any sort of weird Nazi type thing.
No, that's cool and normal. USA, baby.
Woo! Number one.
No,
Bloomberg 2020.
It's not like cities breaking off and like trying to become autonomous is a precursor to civil war or anything.
No. Not at all.
Thank God that would never happen in the United States of all places, right?
Yes.
God.
It's a lovely country that we live in, but it's nice to know that Canada has its own large, horrifying issues.
Yeah, 100%. Like right now, it's the Wet'suwet'en territory, and like they're going hard. They pretty much like shut down the railroad in protest. But
hell yeah,
the police are moving in though. It's unceded territory, so like
it's
it's
not.
not.
I mean, like. That's the way to get it, You fucking hit them in the pocketbook. Like they could give two shits as much as. Also, I totally didn't just look at the name, but Willem Van Spronsen was the person who attempted an attack on a ICE facility in Tacoma. Anyway, I mean, like if you kill a couple of their fucking barely making minimum wage goons, like they'll replace them like that. But if you stop, if you stop a train, if you stop a pipeline, that's millions of dollars lost on their end. And I mean, imagine being the business major dipshit who has to go into their boss and say, oh, the people that were totally dicking over because we're building shit on their land without their permission, stopped us from making money. And stopped us from making money is the worst part of that sentence to whatever fucking corporate ghoul you're breaking the news to. So there you fucking go. That's how you do it.
Yeah, it's a good tactic. But, you know, in the end, like it's like what you said, this is all, we don't talk about it anymore. It's all just assumed. I mean, in the end, no matter what they do, there's nothing they can do. It's going to get taken. Sorry, I have no punchline. That's just
I mean, that's the thing. There is stuff that can help and does help, and I mean, it's like this, like, you know, like what they're fucking doing right now.
Podcasters are the real.
No,
praxis.
shut the fuck up. I don't mean this like the show.
Border Patrol.
God damn it.
Posting is praxis. Never forget.
If we can just make
posting is
enough
praxis.
jokes.
Mark said it himself in a book somewhere that I'm not going to read.
I mean, like, if we really wanted to search some things up, we could ask, like, who was the better poster, Martin Luther or Karl Marx?
Ooh,
so,
it's a tough
Martin Luther. Because
I mean,
he was
his
like
posting started
more
a whole...
popular at the time. But
Yeah.
Marx had the long-lasting impact.
Martin Luther strikes me as like a very Ben Shapiro type of person. Like, okay, I have 95 points about exactly why you're wrong. Let me go through them very quickly.
No, I Have a Dream is very posty. Like that. Those are all tweets.
Wait, yeah, are we talking Martin Luther King Jr. or Martin Luther, the, like, Protestant guy?
Martin Luther.
I thought Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, yeah, no, I thought Martin Luther, the Protestant guy, because he literally posted something to a door.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Jesus,
That's
sorry.
right. Effectively split. We all know that MLK would have been an Instagram hoe if he was around today. Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I
yeah.
have a dream. Then like fade out special graphics of a boomerang selfie video that's 3 seconds long.
Hell yeah.
Posting jokes.
I'm here for that.
The I Have a Dream speech would have been a huge hit on TikTok.
Oh my God! Yes.
Yeah, he's like pointing up at each line. And...
Yeah,
damn. There you go.
You could do a lot of reaction videos to the parts, you know.
Yeah.
All right, that's our new request for Joshua for Congress. Be like, come on, I believe in you. Let's turn this into something that you can actually, put some music behind.
What song would he choose to go in the back of I Have a Dream?
Oh God, let's see.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No. I mean, I would probably assume "Blinding Lights" by The Weeknd because it has that synth wave style. So then, like, as the hi hats hit, that's then when you could do like all of the fucking the word spiel, just one right after the other.
There you go.
Amazing.
Sorry. The music videos have been rotting my brain recently, so I probably should have acted like I don't have 7 or 8 go-tos just locked in the chamber right away. It was in between The Weeknd or Dua Lipa right now. So that's where I'm at with my mental state.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Or do you
I know.
Are you good? Doing all right?
Who, me? Yeah, I'm good.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's self-care, babes.
Sorry,
all right, so
I was
we are
reading
now,
the I Have a Dream speech, if you must know.
I'm more so about Kelton too, but like fucking yeah. What's the vibe tonight, everybody?
Vibe check.
I have a meme that was.
Oh, shut the fuck up!
Amazing. Has that been done?
It must.
I'm
I
searching
think it was
right
done
now.
in like 2007.
I remember I did a post on MLK this year. I was like, I am not going to make a post that says MLK respect to the grift.
Log into alt account. MLK did respect the grid. All right, so that's actually, believe it or not, a very good tie-in for what our game is going to be this week, fellas.
Hell yeah.
That's right. So, it's a simple game, all right? I'm going to read you several stories, give you a basic summation of them.
Oh, this is fun.
And we have to decide, or collectively here, do we respect the grift? All right? I mean, we have the foremost expert on this, so...
We brought on our grift consultant, very specially for this episode, yeah.
Hit us.
Yeah, I mean, if we didn't have Grift Shop joining us and it was just you, Phil, we would be talking about who probably blows the longest ropes of each of the candidates, and then we'd be trying to make sure. Yeah, I mean, it's Steyer, clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's indisputable. So
Steyer may not have the largest
bracket.
hog, but he definitely has the strongest hog.
That tartan tie says it all.
Yeah.
The biceps on his wife say it all. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking barbed wire
Talking
biceps.
that'll be John Delaney.
Fuck yes.
Yeah. But I can see him his just drizzling out. I don't see him shooting it.
He's got a weak flow there.
Weak state.
Yeah.
Weak state.
Steyer,
no matter how much you can deadlift, John Delaney, it doesn't mean that you won't be bald, that you won't be over 6 foot, and that your dick will suddenly get hard. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry.
He's obviously compensating for something with all those box jumps.
He's training to join the XFL is what's happening.
I'm telling y'all, it's all about the lycopene. Just eat a bunch of fucking ketchup and marinara sauce and whatever, and your prostate's going to be as powerful as ever. Forever. Mamma mia, I shoot the rope. It is spat on the wall like a calzone I've dropped. I don't know.
Just like a mama used to make.
Oh, hey.
Who it's a toss-up for who would have the worst rope.
I mean, I think we all know Klobuchar, right?
Oh. Yeah,
Blasting across the room like a fucking
you think
super
she
soaker.
shoots ropes?
No, Pete's ropes are weak for sure.
Klobuchar always struck me as dry. I don't know why.
No, she can only get off if she's
quality.
hitting an intern with a stapler. That's the only thing that does it for her anymore.
Yeah, she has to inflict pain to feel anything down there.
It's like that fucking Cronenberg movie Crash, but instead of car crashes that get people off, it's office supplies.
It's a mix of Crash and Office Space.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's time to play the game. That was a very long tangent that we went on. Very worth it. Don't get me wrong. So, the game is simple. The question is, do we respect the grift?
Yes,
Story
we do.
number 1.
It's gonna
Good jump off point here. So, story number 1, Jacob Wohl and Parkinson's. Jacob Wohl and his buddy have claimed that Joe Biden has Parkinson's and owes it to the American people to just admit it already. Additionally, he's using this story to then push for candidates, letting Wohl and his associate Berkman to actually vet these candidates, but for a fee, to make sure that they're actually viable after all.
That's a really solid
they
grift,
would do
honestly.
it there would be a candidate training camp like how they do in the NFL, and is that the idea?
I mean, that's basically what they're trying to push,
That's a great idea.
If they
I
weren't
respect
so
the grift.
bad at it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob Wohl's obviously a terrible human being, but also he's
of
hilarious.
course.
So
Yeah.
how can you not respect the grift, really?
Yeah,
It's kind of like he's the pug of grifters. We're like, it's not really going to work, and it's not that formidable.
It's not,
and
He
it's
no.
probably honestly shouldn't exist, but
I have no faith in his abilities to actually accomplish the grift.
yeah.
The fact that I know about him makes me believe less in the fact that there is a God, but more in the fact that hell is real. So,
I'm never not gonna respect any grift that he does. I mean, I've said this before, but he's like the greatest performance artist of our age.
I think so.
No one else
I
is
think
close.
so. His press conferences on those fucking stairs, it's beautiful. It's
the
amazing.
stairs of his house as garbage trucks are
Okay.
loading and unloading.
All right,
Yeah,
all
with
right.
his weird guests and his 2 security guards.
So
who
that's
just
what I was
stand
going to
there.
say is, y'all remember a fucking couple months ago when he tried to pitch that story on Elizabeth Warren fucking that Marine?
I'm
Hell
convinced
yeah.
that was an
Yeah,
off
that-
by the Warren campaign because it just made her look cool.
Yeah, that's a retroactive respect the grifter.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so he's 2 for 2 is what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob will come on in on the garage, baby.
Really? Okay. If we had to guess, who do you think would be easier to get on? Jacob Wohl, John McAfee, or Marianne Williamson?
Well,
Yeah, probably Wool. Yeah.
My money's on McAfee, personally. Just
Yeah.
I mean, he
because,
put
you
it
know,
out there, and he specifically said a couple hundred subscribers is enough. So that's our territory, boys.
There we go. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's time. Can you imagine if like one of our podcasts managed to actually secure that? Like how crowded that would be as all of us tried to just jump in to try and ask him a question really quick.
Jacob Pohl's like,
It'd be a fucking
I'm
news
recording this in a hipster coffee shop, and many of these filthy cultural Marxists are saying that they respect my grift.
God.
They're actually all recording podcasts as well.
All right, so number 2 here. A group of men pretended to be members of the Wu-Tang Clan to get free hotel rooms. So the grift essentially went that these guys rented a Rolls Royce from a limo company, went to various high-rate hotels, claimed to be members of the Wu-Tang Clan and other various rap groups from Rock Nation, and then would get let into a 5-star hotel.
Oh, it worked.
That no one would check IDs on, rack up a $60,000 bill, and then move on to the next 5-star hotel.
I absolutely respect the grift. And it also shows clearly the racism and profiling of these hotel staffs. Because, you know, I mean, if they're really the Wu-Tang, you should just ask them, like, yo, like, perform shadow boxing for me, please.
Yeah.
I loved Inwards in Paris.
Yeah.
So how could you not respect the grift? This is an easy one.
Yeah, I mean,
it just seems perfect because it was $60,000 at one hotel, $45,000 at another,
Oh, that
a couple
rules.
of other hotels, undisclosed amounts, $20,000 from the actual limo company, and then they actually somehow, I don't know how, accounting errors aside, Rock Nation ended up covering $17,000 worth of their expenses.
They respected
Damn.
the grift.
Because they were
Rock
like,
Nation respected
Yeah.
the grift.
What it probably was the lawyers probably had like great lawyer, or the hotels probably had great lawyers who like went to Rock Nation, was like, pay part of this and we won't fucking.
That's
drag this
exactly
shit out.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. They're like, I mean, it certainly sounds like something Wu-Tang would do, right, Mr. Wu-Tang? Because there's
They
only
call them
one
up.
of you.
They're like, one of your people did this. All right, like your kind.
Whoa.
You need
One
to
of our
pay us
people.
for
All
it.
right, fine.
Rock Nation, we know. You.
Yeah, I would expect more from partial owner of the Brooklyn Nets, Rock Nation. Come on now.
Anyway, respect the grift. Is there more?
Yeah, we got 4 more actually.
Ooh.
Four more grifts to respect.
Yep.
Amazing.
So then the next one is Sarah Rowe or Syra Rao. I'm
Oh
not sure.
my God.
We can do
Go
this.
ahead.
Um,
Syra Rao.
Her and Regina Jackson,
Mhm.
who are Indian American and African American,
I
respectively.
know about this.
That's right. They have hosted 15, quote, race to dinner, unquote, events
Yes.
in which they demanded the attendees, mostly white women, confess their racism and admit that they are part of the problem for a mere $2,500 a pop.
God
Not
damn.
for like the dinner as a whole, per person at each event.
Yeah, and they don't cook you dinner.
No. It's
You have to make your own dinner.
Respect the goddamn
Absolutely
grift so
respect
hard.
the grift. I think we said I said this before we started recording, but someone DM'd me this story and was like, "Yo, here's the ultimate grift." Yeah, I have to make you aware of this, and
It's really solid.
indeed, I respect it wholeheartedly.
well, I'm just glad that we're actually able to cover things completely here.
I fucking I have to like by default just respect the grift, but I hate Syra Rao. I want to disrespect her grift, but I'm a grift respecter, so I have to respect the grift.
That's right.
But,
That's right.
But I don't respect Syra Rao.
I don't respect her, but I respect what you do. God
The
damn it.
grift, yeah.
Yeah, you're like every police chief in a movie. You'd be like, I don't like you personally, but God damn it, you get the results we need. Speaking of, story number 4 is an ex-cop stole $24 million from McDonald's through a Monopoly scam. So this ex-cop named Jacobson was ahead of a sprawling network of mobsters, psychics, strip club owners, convicts, drug traffickers, and even a family of Mormons who managed to
I've
get
seen this
24
porno.
million. Yeah, I mean, it was a huge story a little while ago. The reason it popped up on social media lately was that there's an HBO docuseries called McMillions covering it in more detail.
That rules.
So... I mean, again, on one hand, he's a cop or an ex-cop. But on the other hand, $24 million from McDonald's, incorporating really just kind of the rainbow coalition of grifters. You know, if we look through all of these people that they managed to get.
I mean, Mormons, and don't cancel me for this, but Mormons are, like, born to grift. Like... they're trained from birth like fucking Batman in Batman Begins to like be to go door to door grifting people on their fucking religion. So
hold on. We might need to get the Mormons on our side to go canvas for Bernie.
Absolutely,
so,
they'd be great at it.
And if there's an all-time grifter Hall of Fame, John Smith would be automatically enshrined. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He would have like a podcast where he rants these days if he was around.
100% he would.
Yeah. Ben Shapiro style.
Oh my God. It'd be true. It would work. So, I assume we all respect this grift, right?
Yeah. It's critical support for fucking the McCop guy.
Yeah, by default.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
So, on a more personal level, this is a story of a scammer who stole a Florida woman's identity and befriended an elderly man through an online dating service. The con artist convinced the man to invest in the Florida Art Gallery, seeking to raise a total of $5 million to ship a marble lion from the Wuhan province in China. I mean, something else was happening, I think, in the Wuhan province. I'm not sure. I think that they have some like weird alcohol issue that's making everyone sick there.
There's some health crisis, or other.
The scammer promised that the gentleman in question would see his investment returned as well as get the profits from the statue sale, but just needed some initial cash to help set it up. The scammer ended up getting $200,000. And the marble lion was actually a giant 47.5-foot long wooden sculpture in the Wuhan square that's not actually slated to be shipped anywhere, also known as No Shit Sherlock. Of course it's fucking not. So it's the Nigerian prince scam, but God damn it, talk about the lion in wood, am I right? Just, it seems like a real kind of cut and dry scam. It takes you back. There's no like larger issue at play here. It's just someone finding out that someone is a rich old fuck
and acting on it. Yeah, I mean that's really what you do. I was thinking as you were beginning to tell this story. I mean, aren't like art galleries like one of the most like fundamental grifts in general?
Yeah, it's money laundering basically.
Yeah, because like artists are broke like across the board. Like anyone who makes art I've ever known, and that might just have to do with me being broke too. Like, you fucking artists need money.
I mean, it's a whole cycle, though, of where, like, someone makes a piece of art, a rich guy buys it, rich guy has an assessor tell him how much that painting is worth. The assessor says it's worth like $40 million or whatever. Rich guy then donates said painting he got for however much to a museum for $40 million and then writes off $40 million as a charitable donation.
Yeah.
Keeps on going over and over again at a CIA plant in Andy Warhol. And all of a sudden, we got ourselves a whole like artistic movement here.
Yeah. Even in like legitimate circles, the whole high art world is just a huge grift where, people can just park, illicitly gain money for tax reasons.
I think this might be the first one on the list that I do not respect.
Maybe. What about y'all? Grift shop, Phil?
I respect the grift.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I have to respect this.
I guess this specific instance is a pretty solid grift. Yeah,
you're right about art being a fucking like
art
tax,
sucks.
Fuck
thing.
Art.
Also, Pollock was a CIA asset.
That, or according to Men in Black 3, an alien. So
could be
we'll
both.
figure out.
I mean, there's no reason you can't be both.
An alien.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. No one tell Bortak about this. It could be a whole fiasco. So the last story is something that is near and dear to my hearts. Here, fellas. This is a scam that occurred in France, and let me explain what went down here. Okay,
Fuck me
a
up.
fraudster used a rubber mask to impersonate the French defense minister over Skype, and then pleaded with various corporate chief executives, heads of state, ambassadors, and religious leaders for funding for a secret government mission.
Oh, hell yeah.
And although most people were able to quickly figure out exactly what kind of scam it was, enough of them took the bait that the scammer managed to earn $85 million.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
nice.
Respect it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's called the scam of the century, which, you
Yeah.
know, like the century is young, but this seems like a pretty good front runner. That, you know,
Yeah.
one Mission Impossible style mask, and all of a sudden you're able
Not
to
even
rake
Mission
it in.
Impossible style. Fucking Scooby-Doo. Like, this is amazing.
How good was this fucking mask?
Apparently pretty good. Like, this is like a
I
fucking
think for
Decker
their
plot
sake,
line.
we'll have to hope that it was a good mask and not, you know, something that they got from Party City at 80%
Yeah.
off.
It's like that mustache mask.
Oh my
I'm
god!
the French foreign minister.
I wonder what the details of the secret government mission were.
It's the mask and then dressed up like a mime. Just
I
like,
have a secret government mission for you.
I am locked inside this box. You must help me, mon ami.
The
That's
French will be
perfect.
forever in your debt.
This is really just like the shitty Austin Powers reboot they've been soft pitching. That's what this news is. God damn.
It's like not even doing a French accent. It's just like a weird British accent.
Yeah. God. Yeah, respect this script for sure.
Yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
grift. 85 mils a good
Absolutely.
haul. That's a good haul.
If only we could be so lucky as to have a successful grift like this.
That's enough for
Just
the
my
rest of your
God.
life, man.
Yeah. Just live off the interest, fucking Bloomberg style.
One last job.
You can jump off the hamster wheel. And then you gotta... all of a sudden, you're not a Sanders supporter anymore. You're trying to protect that 85 million.
Yeah. How
That's how
quickly
it
the
works.
tide turns.
You know how that always goes. You get $85 million through a scam, and then, you know, you immediately report it as income.
Yep. Don't want it taxed.
Grift shop selling custom Bernie masks to fraud you know, the working class out of their hard-earned $2.70.
I'm gonna use it to scare the
What?
dog shit out of like brunching liberals. Just go from table to table like, oh, it's Bernie. This is my Bernie impression. Ugh.
We should
I'm a
wear
vampire
Trump.
also, for some reason.
Whoa.
I don't know where that snuck in, but yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah, famous Bernie Sanders of Latveria.
This inspires me to make Trump masks and wear Trump masks and call like Trump supporters and try to scam them.
There you go.
Apparently he is
Yeah.
his campaign is getting scammed by people pretending to be super PACs affiliated with him and fundraising, and then just keeping it for
Oh,
themselves.
boys, we gotta work up some invoices.
Yeah, and his campaign head, Brad Parscale, he's like funneling tons of the money being raised just to himself. Like
Amazing.
Trump is absolutely being grifted by people in his circle for as far as like re-election funds go.
Oh yeah, well I mean that's
Yeah.
the thing with like that like flavor of rich weirdo, especially like they're all idiots, but they're all just smart. It's like Pokemon types or rock paper scissors, you know, like they can just grift each other in a circle, and they're all dumb and evil enough for it to just keep going on, you know, ad infinitum.
It's a grift
great.
Ouroboros.
Yeah, it's a snake eating its own ass.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ. Well, that seems like a good way to cap a segment off if I've ever heard of one. So,
Yep.
I guess without further ado, real quick, if y'all made it this far, true comrade for sticking around. So real quick shout out to our patrons, especially Scott for contributing to our dialectical tier, and Lauren and Allie and Spencer for contributing to the Devil's Advocate tier. It's always nice when people make it all the way this far to the end, however the fuck long it'll actually be. But most importantly, this is the point where we get to plug. So what's going on in the world of Grift Shop? What's going on in the world of Drum Circle Jerk? What's happening, y'all?
You know, just continuing to run the shop, you know, coming out with new designs, pretty regularly. So I'm gonna when is Nevada? It's the 18th. So when this drops, I'm gonna run the promotion again. That if you donate any amount to Bernie and then send me the donation receipt, I will send you a discount code to a GRIFTSH0P product. We had a lot of success with that from the Iowa and New Hampshire primaries. Actually, I was able to You were able to donate a bunch. I was able to sell a bunch, and it's just a win-win. So feel free to DM me some donation receipts.
Absolutely respect that, Grift.
Slide
Hell yeah.
into
respect the
those
grift.
motherfucking DMs.
That's a good one.
Yeah. What about you, Phil? What's going on?
Not much. We're kind of people are away, so we haven't been recording as much, but people are coming back this week. Brees is in Thailand having sex with little boys. Sophia
As one does, of course, yeah.
Sophia's in Alberta, like doing prostitute
Killing rats
stuff.
or whatever it is you do there, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Killing rats
Robbing
as
an
they
oil
say.
baron.
Yeah. But we'll be
Cattle
back on our
rustling.
bullshit. We'll be back on our bullshit sometime this week. And yeah, as for that, just check us out on Twitter.
Hell
That's
yeah.
where we,
Hell
that's
yeah.
where we do the
Hell
posting.
I love the posts. You love to see the
DCJ
posts, folks.
Pod. Yes, the posts are there.
Isn't that what it's all about? The posts.
It's the posts we had, yeah.
Maybe the real Twitter is the posts we made along the way. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Our real friends are the MUFOs we made along the way.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Kelton,
right.
you got
Well,
anything else for us?
no, not really. Just be sure and hit us up on our socials. Join us in 2 weeks for the live stream. Be sure and join the Discord, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all that fucking stuff. I mean, we got plugs, so just listen to this bullshit. Deuces. Thanks for listening to another episode of Psychic Dolphin Garage. Check out our link tree in the show notes so you can join our Discord and subreddit and become a part of the community. Find our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Word of mouth is still the best way for us to bring this weird leftist show to as many people as we possibly can. So if you like the episode, please share it with someone, anyone. Just one other person at your school or office or parole hearing who you think might like what we do. We trust your judgment. Be sure to join us every week for Destiny Tuesdays on our Discord, the PDLR Fantasy Sports Show Thursdays on our YouTube channel, and Variety Game Night Fridays on Twitch. That just about covers it. All right, we love you. Bye.